The Inner Alchemist, Transforming Challenges into Opportunities. Chapter 1, The Nature of the Crucible. Life. It's a journey, a winding path filled with breathtaking vistas and unexpected detours. We climb mountains of joy, bask in the sunshine of success, and then, seemingly out of nowhere, we stumble. We fall. We face challenges. These challenges, these moments of difficulty, can feel like unwelcome intruders, disrupting our carefully laid plans and leaving us feeling lost and disoriented. We might see them as roadblocks, insurmountable obstacles standing between us and our dreams. We might even see them as punishments, evidence of our own inadequacy. But what if I told you there's another way to look at these difficult experiences? What if, instead of viewing them as roadblocks, we could see them as something else entirely? What if we could see them as crucibles? Now, you might be picturing a blacksmith, hammering away at a piece of metal, shaping it in the fiery heat. And that image isn't too far off. A crucible, in its simplest form, is a container used for intense heat or chemical reactions. It's a place of transformation, where raw materials are subjected to extreme conditions, ultimately emerging changed, refined, and often more valuable. Think of the potter's wheel, where a lump of clay, seemingly formless, is molded and shaped into a beautiful vase. Or consider the caterpillar, which undergoes a complete metamorphosis within the chrysalis to emerge as a magnificent butterfly. These are all examples of the transformative power of the crucible. And just like those examples, the challenges we face in life can act as crucibles for our own personal growth. They are the intense experiences, the difficult situations, that force us to confront our limitations, to dig deep within ourselves, and to discover strengths we never knew we possessed. They are the fires that forge our character, the pressures that mold our resilience, and the catalysts that transform us into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate versions of ourselves. Think back to a time in your life when you faced a significant challenge. Perhaps it was a professional setback, a relationship ending, a health scare, or a period of intense grief. What was your initial reaction? Did you feel overwhelmed, defeated, or even angry? These are perfectly natural responses. It's human to recoil from pain, to resist difficulty, and to wish that things were different. But what happened next? How did you navigate that challenging time? Looking back, can you see how that experience, however painful it may have been, ultimately contributed to your growth? Perhaps you learned a valuable lesson about yourself, about others, or about the world. Perhaps you discovered a hidden strength, a wellspring of resilience you didn't know you had. Perhaps you emerged from that crucible with a newfound sense of purpose, a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you. The truth is, challenges are an inevitable part of the human experience. No one is immune to them. We all face setbacks, disappointments, and moments of profound difficulty. It's not a matter of if we will face challenges, but when and how we will choose to respond to them. We can choose to see them as punishments, as evidence of our own failings. We can choose to succumb to them, allowing them to define us and limit our potential. Or, we can choose to see them as crucibles, as opportunities for growth, transformation, and self-discovery. We can choose to embrace the heat, to learn from the experience, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. We can choose to become our own inner alchemists. This concept of inner alchemy is central to understanding the nature of the crucible. Just as alchemists sought to transform base metals into gold, we too can transform our challenges into something precious: wisdom, resilience, self-awareness, and a deeper understanding of our purpose. The crucible is the vessel in which this transformation takes place, the difficult, uncomfortable, and often painful experiences that force us to confront our limitations and push beyond them. It's the space where we are tested, refined, and ultimately forged into something new. Now, it's important to understand that the crucible isn't a place of passive suffering. It's not about simply enduring hardship. It's about actively engaging with our challenges, learning from them, and using them as fuel for our personal growth. It's about embracing the heat, understanding that it is in these moments of intensity that we have the greatest potential for transformation. It's about recognizing that the challenges we face are not random, but rather, they are often precisely the experiences we need to have in order to grow into the person we are meant to be. Think of a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each strike of the chisel, each carefully placed blow, is a challenge to the stone. But it is through these challenges that the sculpture emerges, revealing the beautiful form hidden within. Similarly, the challenges we face in life are the chisels that shape us, revealing our true potential and allowing us to become the masterpieces we are capable of being. In the chapters that follow, we'll explore the nature of these crucibles in more detail. We'll delve into the process of inner alchemy, learning how to transform our challenges into opportunities for growth, resilience, and profound self-discovery. We'll examine the different types of challenges we face and how they impact us. And most importantly, we'll discover the alchemist within each of us, the power we all possess to navigate life's difficulties with courage, grace, and a deep understanding of our own transformative potential. We'll learn how to identify our own lead, the raw material of our challenges, and how to navigate the crucible of transformation to emerge with the gold of wisdom, resilience, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Chapter 2: Reframing Reality. We've established that challenges are inevitable, and that they can serve as crucibles for our personal growth. But simply facing a challenge isn't enough. It's not about passively enduring hardship. It's about actively engaging with our experiences, learning from them, and using them as fuel for transformation. And a crucial element in this process is how we choose to perceive those challenges. This is where the power of reframing comes in. Think of a picture frame. The frame itself doesn't change the image, but it does influence how we see it. A beautiful landscape might look completely different in a rustic wooden frame versus a sleek, modern one. The same image, but a different perspective. Similarly, reframing a challenge is about changing the frame around our experience, shifting our perspective to see it in a new light. It's about recognizing that our interpretation of an event is just as important, if not more so, than the event itself. Let's take an example. Imagine you've been passed over for a promotion at work. Your initial reaction might be feelings of disappointment, anger, or even inadequacy. You might think, "I'm not good enough," or "they don't appreciate my hard work." This is one way of framing the situation. It's a perspective that focuses on negativity and self-doubt. But what if you chose to reframe this experience? What if you saw it as an opportunity to explore other career paths, to develop new skills, or to pursue a passion project you've been putting off? What if you saw it as a chance to learn from the feedback you received and to grow professionally? Reframing isn't about denying the reality of the situation or pretending that it doesn't hurt. It's not about toxic positivity or ignoring difficult emotions. It's about acknowledging those emotions, allowing yourself to feel them, but then consciously choosing to shift your focus. It's about asking yourself different questions. What can I learn from this? What opportunities might this open up for me? How can I use this experience to grow stronger and more resilient? The power of reframing lies in its ability to shift us from a place of victimhood to a place of empowerment. When we see ourselves as victims of circumstance, we feel helpless and powerless. We're stuck in a negative cycle of self-pity and resentment. But when we reframe our challenges, we reclaim our power. We recognize that we have a choice in how we respond to what happens to us. We realize that even in the face of adversity, we have the ability to choose our perspective, to choose our attitude, and to choose our actions. Reframing is a skill that can be learned and practiced. It takes conscious effort and a willingness to challenge our own limiting beliefs. One helpful technique is to identify the negative thoughts that arise when you face a challenge. Write them down. Then, ask yourself, are these thoughts actually true? Are they helpful? Or are they simply stories I'm telling myself? Often, we'll find that our negative thoughts are based on assumptions and fears, rather than facts. Once you've identified your negative thoughts, try reframing them. Look for alternative perspectives. What are the potential benefits of this situation? What lessons can I learn? How can I use this experience to grow? It might be helpful to talk to a trusted friend or mentor, someone who can offer a different perspective. Sometimes, just hearing another person's interpretation of a situation can be enough to shift our own thinking. Another useful technique is to focus on what you can control. When we're faced with a challenge, it's easy to get caught up in all the things we can't control. We might worry about what other people think, or about the uncertain future. But focusing on what we can't control only leads to feelings of anxiety and helplessness. Instead, try shifting your focus to what you can control. You can control your thoughts, your attitude, your actions. You can choose how you respond to the situation. Focusing on what you can control empowers you to take action and move forward. Reframing is not a magic wand that makes challenges disappear. It doesn't erase the pain or the difficulty. But it does give us the power to choose how we experience those challenges. It allows us to see them not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones on our path to growth and transformation. It enables us to find the hidden opportunities within adversity and to emerge from the crucible stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. It is a key tool in the alchemist's toolkit, allowing us to turn lead into gold, and challenges into opportunities. Chapter 3: The Alchemist Within. We've explored the nature of challenges as crucibles and the power of reframing to shift our perspective. Now, let's turn our attention inward to the alchemist within each of us. This chapter is about recognizing the inherent power, wisdom, and resilience that reside deep within your being. It's about acknowledging the inner resources you already possess to navigate the challenges life throws your way and to emerge transformed. Think of yourself as an alchemist's laboratory. Within you lies a vast array of tools and ingredients, waiting to be discovered and utilized. These are your inner resources, your strengths, your values, your intuition, your creativity, your capacity for love and compassion. They are the building blocks of your resilience, the foundation of your inner strength, and the source of your transformative power. One of the most powerful tools in your inner laboratory is self-awareness. This is the ability to observe your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without judgment. It's about understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and your patterns. Self-awareness allows you to identify the lead in your life, the limiting beliefs, negative patterns, or emotional baggage that may be holding you back. It also helps you recognize your own resilience, the inner strength that allows you to bounce back from adversity. Cultivating self-awareness takes practice. It requires a willingness to turn your attention inward, to observe yourself with curiosity and compassion. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation or journaling, can be incredibly helpful in developing self-awareness. Simply taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly and observe your breath, your thoughts, and your bodily sensations can bring a greater sense of presence and understanding. Journaling can also be a powerful tool for self-reflection, allowing you to explore your thoughts and feelings in a safe and private space. Another essential ingredient in your inner laboratory is self-compassion. This is the ability to treat yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you would offer to a loved one. It's about recognizing that you are human, that you will make mistakes, and that you are worthy of love and acceptance even when you falter. Self-compassion is crucial in navigating challenges because it allows you to approach your struggles with gentleness and understanding, rather than self-criticism and judgment. When you face a setback, instead of berating yourself with negative self-talk, try offering yourself words of comfort and encouragement. Imagine what you would say to a friend in a similar situation and extend that same kindness to yourself. Remember that everyone makes mistakes, that setbacks are a natural part of life, and that you are not defined by your struggles. In addition to self-awareness and self-compassion, your inner laboratory also contains a wealth of other resources. Your intuition, that inner voice that guides you towards what is right for you, is a powerful ally in navigating challenges. Learn to trust your gut feelings, those subtle nudges that often point you in the right direction. Your creativity, your ability to imagine new possibilities and find innovative solutions, can help you overcome obstacles and find new paths forward. And your capacity for love and compassion, both for yourself and for others, can provide a source of strength and support during difficult times. The alchemist within you is wise, resourceful, and resilient. It is the part of you that knows your true potential, that believes in your ability to overcome challenges, and that guides you towards growth and transformation. By cultivating self-awareness, self-compassion, and trust in your inner resources, you can tap into the alchemist within and navigate life's challenges with grace, courage, and a deep sense of inner strength. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. You have within you everything you need to face the crucible, to transform your challenges into opportunities, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Chapter 4, Unearthing Your Lead. We've discussed the nature of challenges as crucibles, the power of reframing, and the alchemist within. Now, it's time to get practical. Before you can begin the transformative process, before you can turn lead into gold, you need to identify your lead. In the context of inner alchemy, your lead represents the specific challenges, limiting beliefs, negative patterns, or emotional baggage that are holding you back from your full potential. It's the raw material you'll be working with in the crucible of transformation. Think of it like this: a sculptor doesn't just start chipping away at any block of marble. They carefully select the stone, looking for the unique veining and characteristics that will inform their artistic vision. Similarly, you need to carefully examine your own life, your experiences, and your inner landscape to identify the specific areas where you are being challenged, where you are feeling stuck, or where you are experiencing recurring patterns of difficulty. Unearthing your lead is a process of self-discovery. It requires honest self-reflection, a willingness to look at the parts of yourself that you might prefer to ignore, and the courage to confront your own limitations. It's not always easy, but it's essential for personal growth. You can't transform what you don't acknowledge. So, how do you go about identifying your lead? One helpful approach is to consider the areas of your life where you are experiencing the most friction. Where are you feeling stuck, frustrated, or unfulfilled? Are there recurring patterns of difficulty in your relationships, your career, or your personal life? Perhaps you struggle with procrastination, self-doubt, or anxiety. Perhaps you have difficulty setting boundaries or expressing your needs. These are all potential clues to your lead. Another way to identify your lead is to pay attention to your emotions. What emotions come up most frequently for you? Are you often feeling angry, sad, anxious, or resentful? These emotions can be indicators of underlying challenges or unmet needs. For example, if you frequently experience feelings of anger, it might be worth exploring the root cause of that anger. Is it related to a specific person or situation? Is it connected to a deeper sense of injustice or frustration? It can also be helpful to reflect on your past experiences. Are there certain challenges that you have faced repeatedly throughout your life? Are there patterns of behavior that you tend to fall back on, even when they no longer serve you? These recurring themes can provide valuable insights into your lead. As you begin to identify potential areas of lead, it's important to be honest with yourself. Don't shy away from the difficult truths. Don't try to minimize or dismiss your struggles. The more honest you are with yourself, the more effectively you can work with your lead. Once you have identified a few potential areas of lead, try to narrow it down to one or two that feel most significant. It's best to focus your energy on a few key challenges, rather than trying to tackle everything at once. Remember, the alchemical process is a journey, not a race. As you begin to work with your lead, you may find that it evolves over time. As you grow and transform, you may uncover deeper layers of challenges or discover new areas where you need to focus your attention. This is a natural part of the process. Be patient with yourself, and be open to the possibility of change. Unearthing your lead is the first step on the path to inner alchemy. It's about recognizing the raw material you'll be working with in the crucible of transformation. It's about acknowledging your challenges, your limitations, and your areas for growth. It's about taking ownership of your journey and recognizing that you have the power to transform your lead into gold. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the origins of lead and explore how past experiences can shape our present challenges. Chapter 5, The Roots of Lead. Now that you've begun to identify your lead, those challenging areas or recurring patterns that hold you back, it's time to think deeper and explore the roots of these struggles. Just as a gardener needs to understand the soil and the environment to nurture a plant, you need to understand the origins of your challenges to effectively transform them. Where did these patterns come from? What experiences, beliefs, or circumstances contributed to their development? Understanding the roots of your lead isn't about blaming anyone or anything for your current struggles. It's not about dwelling in the past or reliving painful experiences. Instead, it's about gaining valuable insights into the underlying causes of your challenges so that you can address them at their source. It's about connecting the dots between your past and your present, recognizing how your history may be influencing your current reality. Often, the roots of our lead can be traced back to our childhood experiences. The messages we received from our parents, our caregivers, and our peers can shape our beliefs about ourselves and the world. Perhaps you were told that you weren't good enough, that you weren't capable, or that you didn't deserve love. These messages, even if they were unintentional, can become deeply ingrained in our subconscious mind, influencing our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors for years to come. Our early experiences can also shape our emotional patterns. If we experience trauma, neglect, or abuse, we may develop coping mechanisms that, while helpful in the short term, can become maladaptive in the long run. For example, someone who experienced emotional neglect as a child may develop a pattern of people-pleasing, constantly seeking external validation to fill the void of unmet needs. Beyond our childhood, other life experiences can also contribute to the roots of our lead. Significant events, such as the loss of a loved one, a major career setback, or a relationship ending, can leave lasting emotional scars. These experiences can shape our beliefs about ourselves, about others, and about the world, influencing how we navigate future challenges. Societal conditioning also plays a role. We are bombarded with messages from the media, from our culture, and from our social circles about what it means to be successful, to be happy, to be worthy. These messages can create unrealistic expectations and contribute to feelings of inadequacy or pressure to conform. It's important to remember that the roots of your lead are not your fault. You didn't choose to experience certain things, and you didn't consciously decide to develop certain patterns. But you do have the power to heal from these experiences and to transform these patterns. Understanding the roots of your lead is not about assigning blame, it's about gaining understanding and empowering yourself to create a different future. As you explore the roots of your lead, it can be helpful to ask yourself some questions. What messages did I receive about myself as a child? What were some of the significant events in my life, and how did they impact me? What are some of the recurring patterns in my relationships or my career? What are my deepest fears and insecurities? It can also be helpful to seek support from a therapist or counselor. A trained professional can provide a safe and supportive space for you to explore your past experiences and to process any difficult emotions that may arise. They can also help you identify limiting beliefs and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Exploring the roots of your lead is a journey of self-discovery. It takes courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to look at the parts of yourself that you may have been avoiding. But the insights you gain will be invaluable in your journey of inner alchemy. By understanding the origins of your challenges, you can begin to heal the wounds of the past and create a foundation for a more fulfilling future. You can begin to dismantle the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back and step into your full potential. It is in understanding the roots that we find the power to rewrite the story. Chapter 6: Embracing Vulnerability. We've explored the process of identifying your lead, delving into its roots, and understanding how past experiences can shape our present challenges. Now, we arrive at a crucial, and often challenging, aspect of inner alchemy: embracing vulnerability. This chapter is about understanding why vulnerability is so essential for transformation and how to cultivate it in your own life. Vulnerability. The word itself can evoke feelings of discomfort, even fear. We live in a culture that often glorifies strength, independence, and emotional stoicism. We're taught to toughen up, to put on a brave face, and to avoid showing any signs of weakness. But the truth is, vulnerability is not weakness. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Vulnerability is courage. It's the courage to show up authentically, to be seen for who you truly are, flaws and all. It's the willingness to take risks, to open your heart, and to expose yourself to the possibility of hurt or rejection. Why is vulnerability so important for inner alchemy? Because it is in those moments of vulnerability that we create space for true connection, growth, and transformation. When we hide behind a facade of perfection or invulnerability, we prevent ourselves from experiencing the full spectrum of human emotions. We limit our capacity for intimacy, joy, and deep connection. We also prevent ourselves from learning and growing from our experiences. Think about it: when you're facing a challenge, do you tend to isolate yourself, pretending that everything is fine? Or do you reach out to a trusted friend or family member for support? It's in those moments of reaching out, of admitting that you're struggling, that true connection is forged. It's in those moments of vulnerability that you allow yourself to be seen, to be heard, and to be supported. Vulnerability is also essential for self-discovery. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for self-reflection and growth. We become more aware of our own emotions, our own needs, and our own limitations. We become more open to feedback, more willing to learn from our mistakes, and more receptive to new possibilities. Embracing vulnerability doesn't mean becoming an open book, sharing every detail of your life with everyone you meet. It's about choosing who you trust, creating safe spaces for authentic connection, and gradually opening yourself up to those who have earned your trust. It's about setting healthy boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being. It's also important to remember that vulnerability is not a destination, it's a practice. It's something we cultivate over time, through conscious effort and intention. It requires a willingness to step outside of our comfort zones, to take risks, and to embrace the possibility of discomfort. One way to cultivate vulnerability is to start small. Perhaps you could share a feeling or a thought with a trusted friend that you've been holding back. Perhaps you could express your needs more openly in your relationships. Perhaps you could take a risk at work, sharing an idea that you're passionate about, even if you're afraid it might be criticized. Another helpful approach is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you're feeling vulnerable. Remember that everyone experiences vulnerability, that it's a normal and natural part of the human experience. Don't judge yourself for your feelings, simply acknowledge them and allow yourself to feel them. Embracing vulnerability is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It's the key that unlocks deeper connections, greater self-awareness, and profound personal growth. It's the bridge that connects us to our authentic selves and to the shared humanity that binds us all. It is in embracing vulnerability that we find the true strength to transform our lead into gold. Chapter 7: Entering the Crucible. We've explored the importance of embracing vulnerability, understanding its connection to courage and authentic growth. Now, we arrive at the heart of the alchemical process, entering the crucible. This chapter is about navigating those challenging, uncomfortable, and often painful experiences that force us to confront our limitations and push beyond them. It's about understanding what it means to truly engage with our struggles, rather than avoiding or resisting them. The crucible, as we've discussed, is the container where transformation takes place. It's the space where we are tested, refined, and ultimately forged into something new. It's the difficult situation, the painful loss, the unexpected setback that disrupts our carefully laid plans and forces us to confront our deepest fears. It's the heat of the fire that burns away the impurities and allows the true gold to emerge. Entering the crucible is not a passive experience. It's not about simply enduring hardship. It's about actively engaging with our challenges, learning from them, and using them as fuel for our personal growth. It's about facing our fears, confronting our demons, and embracing the discomfort that comes with change. Think of a caterpillar entering its chrysalis. It's a process of complete transformation, a period of intense change and vulnerability. The caterpillar must surrender its old form, its familiar way of being, to embrace the unknown. It's a process that requires trust, courage, and a willingness to let go. Similarly, entering the crucible requires us to let go of our old ways of being, our limiting beliefs, and our comfortable patterns. It requires us to step outside of our comfort zones and embrace the unknown. It requires us to be willing to feel the heat, to face the pain, and to confront our deepest fears. One of the most challenging aspects of entering the crucible is managing the difficult emotions that inevitably arise. Fear, anger, grief, sadness, these are all natural responses to challenging experiences. It's important to allow yourself to feel these emotions, to acknowledge them, and to process them in a healthy way. Resisting or suppressing your emotions will only prolong the suffering and hinder the transformative process. It can be helpful to find healthy outlets for your emotions. Talking to a trusted friend or therapist, journaling, exercising, or engaging in creative activities can all be effective ways to process difficult emotions. It's also important to practice self-compassion during this time. Be kind to yourself, acknowledge your pain, and remember that you are not alone. Entering the crucible also requires a willingness to learn and grow. Challenges are often opportunities for us to develop new skills, to discover hidden strengths, and to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It's important to approach these experiences with a sense of curiosity, asking yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? What strengths can I develop to help me navigate future challenges? It's also important to remember that the crucible is not a permanent state. It's a temporary phase, a period of intense transformation that will eventually pass. Just as the caterpillar emerges from the chrysalis as a butterfly, you too will emerge from the crucible stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Entering the crucible is not easy, but it is essential for personal growth. It's the fire that forges our character, the pressure that molds our resilience, and the catalyst that transforms us into stronger, more compassionate versions of ourselves. It is in embracing the heat, in facing our fears, and in navigating the difficult emotions that arise, that we discover our true potential and unlock the alchemist within. It is in entering the crucible that we find a path to true transformation. Chapter 8: Cultivating Resilience. We've explored the challenging, yet transformative, process of entering the crucible. Now, we turn our attention to a vital quality needed to navigate those intense experiences: resilience. This chapter is about understanding what resilience is, why it's so crucial for inner alchemy, and how to cultivate it within yourself. Resilience isn't about being invincible or never experiencing hardship. It's not about pretending that everything is okay when it's not. Instead, resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. It's the capacity to recover from setbacks, to adapt to change, and to learn from difficult experiences. It's not about avoiding challenges, it's about developing the inner strength to navigate them effectively. Think of a tree in a strong wind. A brittle tree might snap and break, but a resilient tree bends and sways, weathering the storm and remaining rooted to the ground. Similarly, resilient people are able to bend and adapt in the face of adversity, drawing upon their inner resources to withstand the challenges and emerge stronger on the other side. Resilience is not an innate trait, it's a skill that can be learned and cultivated. It's a combination of mindset, behaviors, and support systems that enable us to navigate difficult times with greater ease and strength. And just like any skill, it takes practice and consistent effort to develop. One of the key components of resilience is self-awareness. Understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and your patterns, allows you to anticipate potential challenges and prepare yourself accordingly. It also helps you recognize when you're starting to feel overwhelmed and take steps to manage your stress and emotions. Another crucial aspect of resilience is maintaining a positive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring or denying difficult emotions. It means choosing to focus on the positive aspects of your life, even in the midst of hardship. It means believing in your ability to overcome challenges and maintaining a sense of hope for the future. Building strong support systems is also essential for resilience. Having people in your life who love and support you, who you can turn to for help and guidance, can make a significant difference in your ability to navigate difficult times. These support systems can provide emotional comfort, practical assistance, and a sense of belonging. Developing healthy coping mechanisms is another important part of cultivating resilience. This might include practicing mindfulness or meditation, engaging in regular exercise, spending time in nature, or pursuing hobbies and interests that bring you joy. It's about finding healthy ways to manage stress and to recharge your batteries. Learning from past experiences is also crucial for building resilience. When you face a challenge, take time to reflect on what you learned from the experience. What did you do well? What could you have done differently? How can you use this experience to grow stronger and more resilient? Resilience is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about being able to pick yourself up after you fall, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward. It's about recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of life and that you have the inner strength to overcome them. Cultivating resilience is an ongoing process. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and grow. But the rewards are immeasurable. Resilience empowers you to face challenges with greater confidence and courage. It allows you to bounce back from adversity with greater ease. and it provides you with the inner strength to navigate the ups and downs of life with resilience. Chapter 9: Finding Meaning in Suffering. We've explored the challenging journey of entering the crucible and the importance of cultivating resilience to navigate those intense experiences. Now, we delve into a profound aspect of inner alchemy, finding meaning in suffering. This chapter explores how even the most painful experiences can be a source of growth, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Suffering. It's a word that no one wants to experience, yet it's an undeniable part of the human condition. We all face moments of pain, loss, and hardship. But what if, instead of viewing suffering as purely negative, we could see it as a potential catalyst for transformation? What if we could find meaning in our struggles, turning our pain into purpose? This isn't about minimizing or dismissing the reality of suffering. It's not about toxic positivity or pretending that pain doesn't exist. It's about recognizing that even in the darkest of times, there is still the possibility for growth, for learning, and for finding meaning. Think of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the horrors of Nazi concentration camps. He observed that those who found meaning in their suffering, those who had a sense of purpose beyond their immediate circumstances, were more likely to survive. He concluded that the search for meaning is a fundamental human drive, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. Finding meaning in suffering is not about intellectualizing or rationalizing pain. It's not about trying to explain why bad things happen to good people. It's about connecting with something deeper within ourselves, something that transcends the immediate pain and connects us to a larger purpose. One way to find meaning in suffering is to focus on what you can control. While you may not be able to control the circumstances of your suffering, you can control your response to it. You can choose how you interpret the experience, what lessons you learn from it, and how you use it to shape your future. Another way to find meaning is to connect with others who have experienced similar struggles. Sharing your story with others, offering support and compassion, can be a powerful way to heal and to find meaning in your own suffering. It can also be incredibly helpful to receive support and understanding from those who have walked a similar path. Serving others can also be a profound source of meaning. When we focus our attention outward, helping those who are less fortunate or who are struggling in similar ways, we can transcend our own pain and find a sense of purpose beyond ourselves. It's important to remember that finding meaning in suffering is a process, not an event. It takes time, reflection, and a willingness to explore your own inner landscape. It may involve grappling with difficult emotions, questioning your beliefs, and confronting your deepest fears. But the rewards are immeasurable. Finding meaning in suffering can lead to profound personal growth. It can deepen our compassion, strengthen our resilience, and give us a greater appreciation for the preciousness of life. It can also lead to a greater sense of purpose, a feeling that our suffering has not been in vain, that it has somehow contributed to something larger than ourselves. It's not about finding a silver lining in every cloud. It's not about pretending that the pain doesn't matter. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of the storm, there is still the possibility for growth, for meaning, and for transformation. It is in embracing the suffering, in seeking the lessons it holds, that we truly unlock the power of the alchemist within and transform our lead into gold. Chapter 10: The Birth of Gold. We've explored the challenging, yet ultimately transformative, journey of finding meaning in suffering. Now, we arrive at the culmination of the alchemical process, the birth of gold. This chapter focuses on the positive outcomes that emerge from successfully navigating the crucible, the wisdom, resilience, and self-awareness that are forged in the fires of adversity. It's about recognizing and celebrating the gold that emerges from your transformed lead. The alchemists of old sought to transmute base metals into gold, believing that this precious metal held the key to immortality and enlightenment. While we may not be able to literally turn lead into gold, the metaphor holds true for our inner transformation. The challenges we face, the struggles we endure, can be transmuted into something equally precious: wisdom, resilience, self-awareness, compassion, and a deeper understanding of our purpose. Think back to a time when you faced a significant challenge. Perhaps it was a professional setback, a personal loss, or a period of intense self-doubt. How did you navigate that difficult time? What did you learn about yourself? Looking back, Can you see how that experience, however painful it may have been, ultimately contributed to your growth? Perhaps you discovered a hidden strength, a wellspring of resilience you didn't know you possessed. Perhaps you learned a valuable lesson about yourself, about others, or about the world. Perhaps you emerged from that crucible with a newfound sense of purpose, a clearer understanding of what truly matters to you. These are the golden results of inner alchemy. They are the treasures that emerge from the depths of our struggles, the gifts that are forged in the fires of adversity. They are the qualities that make us stronger, wiser, and more compassionate human beings. One of the most valuable forms of gold is wisdom. Challenges can be powerful teachers, providing us with insights and perspectives that we wouldn't have gained otherwise. They can teach us about our own limitations, about the complexities of human nature, and about the interconnectedness of all things. Resilience, as we discussed earlier, is another precious form of gold. The ability to bounce back from adversity, to adapt to change, and to learn from difficult experiences is a priceless asset in navigating the ups and downs of life. Self-awareness is another key component of the alchemical gold. The challenges we face can provide us with valuable insights into our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. They can help us identify our strengths and weaknesses, our triggers and our patterns, allowing us to make more conscious choices about how we live our lives. Compassion is another beautiful outcome of inner alchemy. When we have experienced suffering ourselves, we are often more empathetic and understanding towards others who are struggling. We develop a deeper capacity for compassion, allowing us to connect with others on a more profound level. And finally, a deeper understanding of our purpose is perhaps the most valuable gold of all. Challenges can force us to confront our values, our passions, and our deepest desires. They can help us clarify what truly matters to us and guide us towards a more meaningful and fulfilling life. The birth of gold is not the end of the alchemical process, it's a new beginning. It's a moment to celebrate your growth, to acknowledge your resilience, and to embrace the wisdom that you have gained. It's a time to integrate these golden qualities into your life, to use them to create a more fulfilling future, and to share them with the world. It is in recognizing and celebrating these transformations that we truly under. Chapter 11, Integrating the Transformation. We've explored the birth of gold, recognizing the valuable qualities, wisdom, resilience, self-awareness, compassion, and purpose that emerge from successfully navigating life's challenges. Now, the crucial next step is integrating these hard-earned treasures into your everyday life. This chapter focuses on how to weave the lessons learned, the insights gained, and the strength forged in the crucible into your daily actions, choices, and overall way of being. It's about making your transformation not just a fleeting moment, but a lasting and integral part of who you are. Imagine a master craftsman who has just created a magnificent sculpture. The work is complete, but it's not simply left to gather dust in a corner. It's placed in a prominent location, admired, appreciated, and integrated into the overall design of the space. Similarly, the gold you've alchemized within yourself shouldn't be relegated to a shelf in your mind. It needs to be actively integrated into your life, informing your decisions, shaping your relationships, and guiding your path forward. Integration isn't automatic. It requires conscious effort, consistent practice, and a willingness to be intentional about how you live your life. It's about taking the lessons you've learned and applying them to new situations, using your newfound wisdom to make wiser choices, and drawing upon your resilience to navigate future challenges. One of the most effective ways to integrate your transformation is to start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Instead, focus on one or two key areas where you can apply your newfound insights. Perhaps you've learned the importance of setting boundaries. Start by practicing this in one area of your life, such as your work or your family relationships. As you become more comfortable with it, you can gradually expand it to other areas. Another helpful approach is to create rituals and routines that reinforce your transformation. Perhaps you could start a daily journaling practice to reflect on your experiences and identify opportunities for growth. Perhaps you could incorporate mindfulness or meditation into your daily routine to cultivate self-awareness and manage stress. These rituals and routines can serve as anchors, reminding you of the lessons you've learned and helping you stay on track. It's also important to surround yourself with supportive people. Choose to spend time with those who uplift you, who encourage your growth, and who share your values. These supportive relationships can provide you with the encouragement and accountability you need to stay committed to your transformation. Integrating your transformation is not a linear process. There will be times when you slip back into old patterns or struggle to apply what you've learned. This is perfectly normal. Don't get discouraged. Simply acknowledge the setback, learn from it, and recommit to your journey. Remember that transformation is an ongoing process. It's not a destination, it's a journey. There will always be new challenges to face, new lessons to learn, and new opportunities for growth. Embrace this journey, be patient with yourself, and celebrate your progress along the way. Integrating your transformation is about living your life more authentically, more intentionally, and more fully. It's about aligning your actions with your values, living in accordance with your purpose, and expressing the gold you've alchemized within yourself in all aspects of your life. It is in this active integration that the true and lasting power of inner alchemy is revealed. Chapter 12: Celebrating Your Alchemy. We've explored the process of integrating transformation, weaving the gold of wisdom, resilience, and self-awareness into the fabric of our daily lives. Now, we arrive at a crucial and often overlooked aspect of inner alchemy: celebrating your journey. This chapter is about acknowledging your progress, honoring your strength, and recognizing the remarkable transformation you've undergone. It's about giving yourself credit for the hard work, the courage, and the vulnerability you've demonstrated throughout the alchemical process. Think back to where you were before you embarked on this journey of inner alchemy. What challenges were you facing? What limiting beliefs were holding you back? How have you grown and changed since then? Take a moment to reflect on your progress, however small it may seem. Have you become more resilient in the face of adversity? Have you developed a deeper understanding of yourself? Have you found a greater sense of purpose in your life? Celebrating your alchemy isn't about boasting or becoming complacent. It's about acknowledging the effort you've put in, recognizing the strength you've discovered within yourself, and honoring the journey you've traveled. It's about giving yourself permission to feel proud of how far you've come. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We tend to focus on our shortcomings, our mistakes, and the areas where we still want to improve. While self-reflection is important, it's equally important to acknowledge our successes, our strengths, and our progress. It's about balancing self-awareness with self-compassion, recognizing that we are all works in progress, and that even small steps forward deserve to be celebrated. Celebrating your alchemy can take many forms. It could be as simple as taking a quiet moment to reflect on your journey and acknowledge your progress. It could involve treating yourself to something special, something that symbolizes your transformation. It could mean sharing your story with a trusted friend or mentor, someone who can appreciate the magnitude of your journey. It's also important to celebrate the small victories along the way. Don't wait until you've reached some distant goal to acknowledge your progress. Celebrate each step forward, each challenge overcome, each lesson learned. These small victories are the building blocks of your transformation, and they deserve to be recognized and celebrated. Celebrating your alchemy is not just about looking back, it's also about looking forward. It's about using your past experiences as a source of strength and inspiration for the future. It's about recognizing that you have the power to create the life you want, to achieve your dreams, and to continue to grow and evolve. Remember that the alchemical process is a journey, not a destination. There will always be new challenges to face, new lessons to learn, and new opportunities for growth. But by celebrating your alchemy, you reinforce your resilience, you strengthen your self-belief, and you cultivate a deeper appreciation for the transformative power that lies within you. It is in celebrating our journey, in honoring our progress, that we truly integrate the gold we have alchemized and empower ourselves to continue the journey with courage, confidence, and joy.